as a loving mother and the famous other woman. We have seen her thin and glamorous, and we have seen her fat and dumpy. She is a survivor, indestructible. And somewhere in those 4 decades of making headlines, she stopped being a star and became a legend. Elizabeth Taylor has had 7 marriages, 6 husbands. First at 18 to hotel heir Nicky Hilton. It lasted 7 months. Then at 20 to British actor Michael Wilding. They had 2 sons and 4 years of marriage. She met showman producer Michael Todd, and they were married and had a daughter. But tragically, 13 months later, he was killed in a plane crash. Singer Eddie Fisher became her 4th husband, and they decided to adopt a little girl. They were married for 3 years until she met Richard Burton. And their union was called the romance of the century. They were married for 10 headline-grabbing years, then got a divorce, only to marry again. It didn't last. John Warner of Virginia became her next husband, and he made her a senator's wife. The marriage ended after 5 years. There are times when Elizabeth Taylor seems much like one of her movie characters, Maggie the cat. She indeed appears to have 9 lives. In 1983, a very overweight Elizabeth Taylor checked into the Betty Ford Clinic. She was addicted to prescription drugs and alcohol. A new Elizabeth Taylor emerged, drug-free and slimmed down. She says that it was at the Betty Ford Clinic that she found self-esteem. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the first to come out to raise money and awareness for AIDS. And wherever she goes, she's still the center of attention. She calls a press conference to announce a new perfume called Passion, and hundreds of reporters show up.
It's funny how any announcement I make turns into a marriage.
Those rumors of marriage are centered around Elizabeth Taylor and actor George Hamilton. They've been friends for years and have been on location together in old Tucson, Arizona, shooting a television movie called Poker Alice.
Only trying to protect you, Alice.
By telling me what kind of man I should like and shouldn't like?
Well, you haven't been very successful thus far with men, have you?
I visited with her during a break from shooting there. In her turn-of-the-century costume and wig, she looks incredible. She had once told me that she didn't mind being fat. But now that she is again a size 6, the truth comes out.
I didn't enjoy being fat.
Really?
No, I hated it. And I hated all the fat jokes. I probably laughed as loud or louder than anyone. But they hurt. They hurt me a lot. And it was a kind of defiance, I think, made me get even fatter. Like it's my business. It's my body. I went through some photos the other day, and they're incredible. I let my hair go. I didn't bother with makeup. I obviously just didn't care. I was quite clearly unhappy. And I think a lot of it was rebellion setting in. I've worked since I was 9. And sort of been told to do this and that. And I reached a point in my life where I thought, no, damn it. If I want to be fat, I'll bloody well be fat.
Did you ever have a life where you were just a little girl?
Before I was in films in England, yeah.
For about 8 years?
Yeah.
That was the only childhood?
Mm-hmm. And really the only time when I wasn't famous.
You know, you're probably the only person, the only actress I can think of whose life can really be told through the films, because you did start so young. The film that we remember when we think of the baby Elizabeth Taylor was when you were 12 years old, and National Velvet.
Oh, well, that was like playing myself.
Have you ever been quiet for a few hours and just think?
All the time. All the time about horses. All day and every night.
I chose the horse for that. Nobody else could ride it in real life other than me. So the film was just really, I suppose that's why it's one of my favorites.
When you did a film called Cynthia, you got your first kiss in Cynthia. Do you remember?
Oh, I do remember. And I think in real life I got my own first kiss about 2 weeks before. I do remember I was in a panic that I'd be kissed on the screen before I was in real life. And that would have been such a terrible humiliation.
Who was the first kiss?
In real life?
In real life?
A friend of my brother's. It was probably a compassionate kiss.
When you were 17 or 18, you were playing a bride. Spencer Tracy was the father, the film was Father of the Bride. And you were thinking of getting married yourself at just that point, were you not?
Yes, I did marry when I was 18.
You were so young when you married Nicky Hilton. Why did you want to get married?
Well, I thought I was in love. I thought marriage was, a cottage with a white picket fence and roses climbing over it. I was unprepared for that world out there. I'd been so sheltered and protected by my family, the studio. I was no more grown up than a little animal.
You are such a good actress because the sun is going down here in location and I am freezing and you don't look as if it bothers you. Would you like something to put on?
Something, yes.
Do we have a wrap that Miss Taylor could?
Oh, thank you
Good.
very much. Thank you. Oh, that's better.
While we're going over the years, a memorable film, a very special one, I would think for you, A Place in the Sun.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's probably the most memorable because it's, I think the first time I even considered acting. Everything before had been an extension of myself. It's the first time that I think I acted in a film.
Do you remember the hardest scene for you in that?
The hardest. I suppose, saying goodbye to Monty and to keep from crying.
Goodbye, George. Seems like we always spend the best part of our time just saying goodbye.
What was Montgomery Clift in your life? What kind of a friendship was it?
Well, he was one of the most important people in my life. He was my closest friend until he died. We really loved each other in the purest, most complete sense of the word.
This is nice. I don't want to spoil it.
You better tell me.
I love you. I've loved you since the first moment I saw you.
After A Place in the Sun, another film that was, it was a giant film. It was called Giant. Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
What are your memories of Rock Hudson? You were his
Well,
wife.
my memories of Rock are just memories of giggling. We had such fun together. We used to sit up and talk about everything. We had no secrets from each other, ever, all through the years. But we managed to laugh through everything.
When it was learned that Rock Hudson had AIDS, when he came back from Paris, you were the first one to see him. Was it anything that you ever, did you tell him that you knew? Did you always act as if you didn't?
No, when I went to see him in the hospital, he knew that I knew. We didn't discuss it.
Let's talk about some of the other men, if we can, that you work with. If I just give you their name, tell me what comes into your mind. Paul Newman.
I think he's one of the most dynamic, attractive, attractable, attracting, adorable, gorgeous
I think that's just
Oh.
enough. Marlon Brando. Reflections in a Golden Eye was a film you made with him.
I was thrilled to work with Marlon. He's a brilliant actor, an intelligent actor. He does, I think, have genius. I wish he'd lose weight.
A film that you made that I would think would have been a happy time for you because it was the beginning of a wonderful romance, was Braintree County. Montgomery Clift was your co-star. And was it at that time that you met Mike Todd?
Yes. We were wildly attracted to each other. And I went on vacation on Braintree County, and he called me every night for 6 weeks. And we got to know each other on the phone.
Elizabeth, when he was killed in that plane crash, you were supposed to have been on the plane that went down. And you were ill and didn't take that plane.
I had a temperature of 102 and I had pneumonia. And it was strange. He said goodbye to me 5 times. And we clung to each other. And it was the first time we'd ever been separated in our 13 years of marriage. 13 months.
13 months.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that you say 13 years?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been wonderful if it could have been 13?
It sure would. And that was not easy to believe.
Fate has played such a part in your life. In Cleopatra, Mark Antony was supposed to have been an actor named Stephen Boyd. He had other commitments, and another actor named Richard Burton was brought in.
I want to be free of you, of wanting you, being afraid.
That Caesar would not permit it.
In the life of Richard Burton, so much has been written about it, talked about it, that I couldn't possibly even start to ask you about it, except to ask what your memories are now.
They're wonderful memories. They're warm memories. And they're my memories.
You made 11 films with Richard Burton. One of them, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, many people feel was your greatest challenge and perhaps your greatest performance. Do you feel that?
It's my favorite film.
In Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, you did an imitation of Betty Davis.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Can you do it for us? Do you remember the line?
I remember the line, yeah. What a dump.
Hey, what's that from? What a dump.
How would I know?
Oh, come on. What's it from? You know.
Martha,
What's it from, for Christ's sake?
what's what from?
I just told you. I just did it. What a dump.
Betty Davis. You know what she says? She says that more people think she says it that way because of your imitation than the way she said it in real life. Elizabeth, I cannot sit here without asking you what I'm sure everybody wants to know, and you probably know is going to come up. Do you think of marrying again? Do you want to marry again?
I don't know. I've thought about it, but I've been single now for 5 years, which is a record. And I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really don't know. 2 years ago, I would have said, yes, I think I will, once more. You know, I'm a real diehard. But I'm not sure anymore.
Why not? What made the difference?
Well, I haven't been terribly successful. I am different now than I was before.
Can we assume that you and George Hamilton are just very good friends, as you say you are?
Well, just very good friends sounds like such a cliche.
Yeah.
We enjoy each other. We have fun together. We're extremely fond of each other. And we're having a great time together.
When you hear people say, Elizabeth Taylor, now she's a legend.
That always sounds to me like an obituary. I don't feel dead yet. People have asked me why I don't write a book. Because I'm still living it. My life is still writing chapters. I'm not ready to sit and contemplate the past. I'm too busy living the present and looking forward to the future.